edition of RSF Radio. I am your host, Joe Monday, and while we typically have guests on the show, not so much this week. Had a little bit of a scheduling issue. That this one's on me. Things got kind of out of hand, kind of got away from it, and unfortunately, no guest. Not a whole lot in terms to talk about, though. As well in terms of news. We could stack things up and take a look at where things lie before the North American Regional Finals. But I think that the Best of Five does a really good job of tracking those metrics, and listen to what Ace King Offsuit says. That dude's got a whole system involved, so I would look forward to that. Also, probably go check out Glenn, aka the Game Twalk 2K, that is, for all of that stats and information, because he's been pretty good at predicting the winners of Capcom Cup for at least last year. He did. But regardless, that's not. Let me kind of roll it back a little bit, because I made the scheduling problem because I added a little bit of something. It's a little bit of a surprise. I'm not quite ready to talk about it yet, but this past, the weekend and this entire week, I've been really busting my balls I'm really busting my balls. Busting ass, busting balls. Because busting makes me feel good. I mean, Halloween did just happen. But I've got a project lined up that I initially didn't think that I would have lined up by this time. Kind of wrote it off, and then something happened. There was a catalyst to this where I saw a little bit of an injustice and went, you know what? What if we just did something about this? So I know I'm talking around this in the most vague terms, which if I gave any bit of it away, that's the game, you would know immediately. But in any case, I would say after, man, I'm really stumbling over my words today. I don't know why that is. Just things not coming out right. Just got some word salad going up in here. But what is important to look for is after this weekend, after the NARF, probably I'm shooting for Monday on the announcement. We'll see how things go. I have to rely on at least one other person to really pull through in terms of making this happen. But I'm confident. I'm confident that we'll have something to show for on Monday. I'm excited. You should be excited. But you should also be excited for the NARF, for the North American Regional Finals. And particularly if you have been a part in helping sponsor No Good Citizen, Mesier, and Seth Series for the North American Regional Finals. I gotta say, I've been so impressed, by everyone's generosity within the community. Maybe not even just generosity, but general verve for wanting this thing to happen and wanting to throw support behind these players. Because we've sold a fuck ton of merch, a good amount, more so than we really ever had before. And last time we did this, we set records. In fact, this time that we ran it, Sermi, the contact out at Maturino, was like, hey, we need to make a bulk order button because it just makes sense for what you guys do. This merch is too hot. It's flying off the shelves. So if you haven't gotten your hands on some of that merch yet, I recommend it, or at least appreciating the art or giving some love to Quasimodo. I always stumble. It's technically Quasimodo X, and I know that. In my brain, I know that, but in my actual brain, out of my mouth comes Quasimodox, and every time I try to remember that it's Quasimodo X, I stumble. That's just I'm too set in my ways. Can't teach an old geef new geefs. But anyway, no. So I will also say that for the NARF sponsorship, if you do happen to like the very cool series, like the very cool cat tee that I am currently wearing, this bubblegum blowing babe, man, why did I make that so hard on myself? I know I'm art. It's like I'm stumbling over my words and was like, check out this Black Diamond course of words. And man, that, I'm just fucking up all over the place. Regardless, enjoy my pain, but also enjoy these shirts because they're dope as fuck. Very Cool Cat is very good. And I'm not even a cat person. Even Brick likes this shirt. He fucking hates cats. That's for damn sure. He hates what he doesn't understand. But anyway, that is kind of all that I have. I would recommend, if you haven't, go support these guys. Cheer them on when you see them at the NARF. If these guys catch stream time, I want to see that in the chat. I want to see you guys blowing up. Because it's there. I say this all the time, but there is power. There is a certain amount of strength that can come from people believing in you. It's kind of this untangible thing where it could just be some stranger. It's just me being like, hey, like, kick some ass. And then for whatever reason, there's a little bit of energy from that. There's a little bit of some inexplicable, strength that can be drawn from that. So send these guys some love. Of course, that's No Good Citizen, Mezier, and Seth Series. Check for their performance at the NARF. It did get you. So I don't know if you saw that from earlier, but Seth Series and No Good Citizen got put in the same pool, and I was like, damn, really? I mean, it's like the tags are right there. It's a big pool. Like there's a lot of players going to the NARF, man. Can we not with this? I mean, I know they're not like from the same region, but like, come on, Shimon, bro. But I don't know. I laugh at that a little bit and say that it should be easy, but forming gigantic tournament brackets like that is like really fucking hard. So I'm not trying to disparage anyone who is in charge of making brackets, because honestly, that is a very difficult job to give to someone who may or may not be getting paid to do so. So just consider that. Anyway, I don't know if someone is being paid for that. I'm just saying, I don't know the ins and outs of that, or who would be doing that, particularly for the North American Regional Finals. I'm just saying. And also, Smash GG is not like the easiest thing to work with as an administrator or a user or anything of that nature. I don't know if I said this on this podcast, but I did notice recently that Smash GG did just send out they were polling people. I don't know if it was just sent to people who have organized tournaments in the past, but they were like, hey, answer this questionnaire, fill out the blanks, like let us know any critiques, which if you got that email or check your spam folder, fill it out. I think that it would be useful for a bracket service, which happens to be adopted by fucking everyone for some reason, that it become better or actually usable from a user end and not kind of this unusable Swiss Army knife. I've said this many times in the past, but just if you got that email, look for it and let them know. But I'm going to let you know that that's kind of it for this show. I know this is going to be a short one because, again, scheduling error on my part. Leah's out of town. She's like gone for a month, which means I'll have to do laundry at some point. And she doesn't allow me to do laundry. So this will be an interesting I haven't done it since college. So we'll see how that goes. I'll probably fuck it up. and she'll yell at me when she gets back. But yeah, she's turned England. She's going to be in the south of France for a little bit, Rome. She's like traveling the globe, and I'm just here talking into this microphone about some tangentially Street Fighter stuff, because there's also not really any Street Fighter news. But I will encourage you, listener, if you are a longtime listener to this show, or if this is your first time, I would recommend rating it on whatever service you listen to podcasts on. That is hugely helpful in spreading this information. Even though this is really niche, there could be people looking for this niche information, or just looking for a weekly show like this under this the guise of lightly talking about Street Fighter related or FGC related content. I know that's a small slice of the pie, but rating and reviewing things really, like, for anyone. I would recommend doing that for all of the FGC shows, just so people know that they exist, or at least can access them easier. So, like, Best of Five, Event Hub's podcast, the Ultra Chen show. Like, there's a bunch out there, but, like, if you listen to them, rate and review them. It's just helpful for helping people find information, which is kind of somewhat difficult now. You would think that in 2019 we'd have things like categorized and easy to find, search engine optimization, and all that shit. But nah, unfortunately. But that's the dark future we live in. Other than that, look forward to the tournaments. I do kind of want to take a little bit of extra time to thank Capcom proper for throwing support behind our weekly that we run on Mondays and Fridays. Mondays on the East Coast, Fridays on the West Coast. We've been running this tournament for, so many years now. And to finally have Capcom, or someone at Capcom, be like, hey, let's support community efforts like this. They've really been stepping it up in support of smaller communities. And I know that they retweet locals and stuff. I like it. I like this new chapter in Capcom's future, or at least Capcom fighting game franchise future. They're putting the effort in, and it shows, and I am certainly super appreciative. Just it's cool to have that kind of good relationship with the people who make the game finally after 6 years of doing this thing. But that's neither here nor there. That's again, Mondays and Fridays. Check it out. Clip things throughout the week. It's been really fun, and I appreciate anyone who tunes into that and kind of just pals around. It's a good time. People tell me. I don't remember most of them, because that's how the kind of show it is. I jest. But there is fun to be had. Let's put it that way. If you haven't tuned in, I highly recommend it. But other than that, I think that's going to do it. I think that'll do it. We'll save predictions for probably sometime in between the NARF and Capcom Cup. We'll see what the bracket shakes out to be, or what, see who's even going to LCQ, because it seems like people will sign up for that the latest as possible, which isn't that crazy. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you think maybe you're not going to have your shot, or you want to, can't take time. Who knows? Number of reasons. But I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody thinks. It's going to be an interesting year. I will also say, please write in questions. That's something that I probably don't advertise on this podcast enough. But emailing into the show is actually a really good way for me to shape what you guys want out of this show. Gives me an idea of the kind of questions that you might be thinking about, and maybe gives me an idea to bring the right kind of people on the show. All that stuff is very helpful. So send in your questions or comments, whatever you want, to rsfradioquestions@gmail.com. Again, that's just all straight, rsfradioquestions@gmail.com. That's the email, and that's a show. I'm going to go make sure Rick's taken care of and figure out how to fucking work the laundry machine. But that'll do it. Until next time, folks, take care. Peace.